Good morning from Germany. It is February, late February, and we finally have some sun. And behind me you see something very special. I've never made an introduction video of one of my cars for my channel. And by the way, quite a few subscribers, so welcome to my Porsche and Ferrari-less channel. But instead we have something like this. You know what? I've bought one of my dream cars and it is a very, very special one. It looks strange, and you can see these are the basic shapes of what is an Austin Allegro, apart from that this car never was called an Allegro. So we have the Van en Pla badge here. Is it Van en Pla or Van en Pla's? There is a discussion about that. Van en Pla's, the badge, if you will, started life in Belgium and ended up somewhere in Great Britain, in London. So what to say about this car? Quite a lot of things. So first of all, it is one of my dream cars. So 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I was working night shifts at a hospital, and I was browsing through the web, and suddenly I stumbled over a picture, and that was showing a Van en Pla 1500, just like this one, and it started it all. So I began to read, I began to research. That was the start of my love affair with British Leyland, because I love everything Austin Allegro. Actually, this very car, I think maybe 15 years ago, I found it, not advertised, but in some sort of forum. And I asked the owner if he wanted to sell this car to me. And back in the day, he was reluctant. But now you see, it's here, and now it is mine. And let me show you around this very odd little car. So in the 1960s and 1970s, BMC, or later BLMC, or later British Leyland, had a very strong seller, and that was the iconic 8016. But this car needed a replacement, and that was the project 8067, and that became the Austin Allegro. It was a car styled by Harris Mann of British Leyland, and Harris Mann, he had very, very different plans design-wise. Actually, what he sketched was a very, very dynamic car, quite a bit looking like an Alfa Sud. But then management came, numbers came, and British Leyland was in trouble. So the whole design was compromised, and the car ended up to be looking very, very different from what Harris Mann had in store for it. And when the Allegro came out, almost everyone had a good laugh about this car. Well, many things were wrong. It was lacking a proper hatchback, just because the Maxi had one, and British Leyland wasn't so sure about another competitor in that sort of range. When it was launched as the Austin Allegro with the A-Series engine, the 1300, but you could get the E-Series 1500. This actually has the 1500, and the other E-Series engine, the larger 1750. I think the 1500 started life somewhere in Australia in the Morris, I think, Nomad. Could be wrong here. Anyway, just look back at the 8016 for a second. The 8016 was available in with many badges, and one of the badges was the Van en Pla badge. So Van en Pla, coach build history, they made a lot of coach build stuff, of course, interiors, exteriors, and with the 8016 they had the Princess, and that was a quite successful car. And when Roland Fox, the boss at Van en Pla, got the first sketches of the Allegro, of course he wanted a Van en Pla version. So I think in 74, finally the Allegro version, the Vandenpla 1500 and 1750 were launched. And these cars were very, very different from your usual Austin Allegro. And that starts, well, of course, with the front end. It kind of looks strange. It has the typical Vandenpla grille treatment, a little bit of a shark nose. And you know what? It looks strange, but then look at a new BMW. It doesn't look so strange anymore. But the interior is fantastic. By the way, these cars were built in Longbridge, and then they needed a complete new interior in London. So what British Leyland did was they stripped the whole car, and there where you see the driver's seats, there was some sort of a slave seat. And then they drove the cars to London on the road and fitted a whole new interior. Let's have a look inside. Okay, so it looks like a very small, I wouldn't say like a Rolls Royce, but Jaguar, Daimler, something like that. Just have a look at this lovely walnut dashboard with a loud ticking clock. Then we have a speedometer, and then we have temperature, volts, fuel. Of course, it's a right-hand drive car. That's why the indicator is just right here. So what else? Switchgear. I think this is all mini. So let's say British Leyland. They took everything from the shelf possible. A lovely Vandenpla steering wheel. As you know, the Allegro in its first year had this quartic wheel, but that was a little bit too much for the Vandenpla owner. So it got unfortunately, a round steering wheel. So, well, we have partly Connolly leather. This is not Connolly, but this is lovely headrests here. We have, what else? We have a lot of wood. Just have a look at the doors. It's not in the best condition, this here, but still, it's a lovely environment. We have a middle armrest at the front and at the rear. We have some reading lights right there. These are actually new. This is the original Vandenpla type, and as you can see, it's not in the best condition, and at the back these were just gone, but I found out that this other type of reading or interior light used in the MGB and the TR6, I guess, and many other British Leyland car just has the same socket, so it fits perfectly, just for the case that your Vandenpla 1500 is going into pieces. Okay, quite a lot of leather, no bare metal. That's why the door sound is amazing. It sounds almost like an old Mercedes. What else? Cheap Chinese stereo. That was me. I'm sorry. And this is where the speaker is. I've read somewhere that the Vandenpla was available with 2 speakers, but this was a job I had to do myself, as you can see. Another interesting aspect is the automatic gearbox. It's a 4-speed automatic gearbox, and it works pretty fine. I have some trouble with the reverse gear, so I'm actually looking for someone who is brave enough to get his hands on such an old gearbox. But we will have a test drive. You will experience what I experienced with this car. Let's have a look at the back, because there we have a problem. Let me show you this. When you hear Vandenpla, British Leyland, then you expect a picnic table. So this hasn't, and that is because this is a very, very early car. So the Vandenpla Mark I never came with picnic tables, which is a bummer. I have to be honest. It's something I don't like about this car. But you know, it came with a factory fitted sunroof. And you know, that was, at least for me, that was the deal breaker. So I can say it is a very rare car because, well, the lack of the picnic tables was a problem for the customers. So they demanded a proper picnic table. And with the Mark II, the Vandenpla finally got picnic tables because that was a problem with the Allegro. You know, it's not feeling that roomy and airy just like the predecessor, the ADO 16. So they changed, I think they changed the position of the rear bulkhead, got some more room, and finally you've got a proper set of picnic table, which this hasn't, by the way. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I have a long history with the Austin Allegro, and I actually had a drive in the Austin Allegro from Colin Cork. He's one of the, let me say, most prominent persons in the Austin Allegro scene. Maybe I find the footage and will show you now. And that was the Mark I 1300 with a quartic steering wheel. And by the way, quite a popular Austin Allegro because Jeremy Clarkson drove one. Back to my car. The color is Harvest Gold, and that is special to me because I had a ADO 16 myself, and that was in Harvest Gold. More details. When I got the car, it was missing its coach line, so I applied a new one, and I think it looks pretty okay. What else do we have? We have painted steelies. And I'm not sure if this was a factory option on the Mark I. I've seen pictures of at least two other Mark Is with color-coded steelies. That looks amazing. It's one of my favorite details. Also, here with the chrome trim inside of the wheel, not the Allegro, the Vandenpla hubcap. It's not in the best order. But it is not a min car, but it is in a very, very good condition. So the guy I bought this car from, he took extremely good care of it. I also applied the British Leyland badge, and you know, I wonder why the hell British Leyland cars had only the badge on one side of the car, and that was usually the passenger side. Now let's have a quick look at the rear again. So the rear doors, you have the wood. You have at least some pockets right here. It's all leather. Lovely middle armrest just right here. There is a aftermarket picnic table I've bought some years ago. Of course, we have an ashtray because you want to smoke your cigar when you sit cramped the back of this lovely, it's not an Austin Allegro, and this lovely Vandenpla. Well, this is a problem I have to sort out, and I still don't know how I'm gonna do it. So let's take a look under the bonnet. Probably a familiar sight for any Austin Allegro or posh Allegro Vandenpla owner. Unfortunately, the bonnet's open. Something I need to sort out is this, and what can we see here? It's the E-Series engine, the 1500, also known from the Austin Maxi, not in the later Princess, I guess. Anyway, so it's a 4-pot OHV, I guess. Then we have, of course, it's floating on fuel. There we have the Hydrogas unit. So it does feel special driving this car. It's a bit stiffer than my ADO 16 was. At least it feels a little bit stiffer. By the way, if you're in a left-hand drive country and you're looking for the correct H4 lights for a Austin Allegro, Fiat 127 lights, this is the way to go. By the way, what I always loved about the car are the combination of Fox headlights, and then we have some side marker lights as well. Some other details missing. Usually you will have a chrome strip right under the door line, and there's a splash guard at the rear wheel arch. I do have the chrome trim parts, but I'm missing the splash guards. So if by any chance, let me know if you have them somewhere in your shed. Okay, what to do next? Of course, I will take you with me on the road with the Van Pla 1500. Hope you like it so far. Okay, let's get in the car. Now have a quick listen to the door sound, because it sounds pretty good. And you know what? It is a very nice driving environment, because it feels like sitting on an old leather couch in a very old living room. You're just missing the grandfather clock in here. I don't know if you can hear it, but you just can hear the seconds on the clock. Anyway, so let's start the engine, and it starts almost on the spot. You know what I noticed? The gear lever for the automatic transmission sits very, very low. So let's go and push the pedal to the metal. And you know what? This car is exceptionally slow. 68 horses were in here, and I guess about 40 are being sucked by the automatic transmission. But it is very nice to drive. So all people making fun of the good old Allegro or the Van Plus 1500, but you know, it is a fun car. It is not quick, but it is fun, and it just feels good to sit here. So let's get the armrest here, and now I'm ready to drive. So, well, from my experience, it makes barely over 110 kilometers, which refers to almost 70 miles. But you know, it is okay. I bought the car in northern Germany and drove it back 350 kilometers on the German Autobahn, and it behaved pretty well. Yes, so what else to say about the car? So I already said this is a Mark 1, so this is the early Van Pla, and it is the rarest Van Pla because they all disappeared. And just like the Austin Allegro, there were two more serious. So there was the Mark 1, the Mark 2. The Mark 2 followed in, I think, in 75, and this is a very late 75 Mark 1. So this was built, I guess, in September. I'm not sure. So it's a Mark 1, then came the Mark 2, and with the Mark 2 came finally the picnic tables. They were back, and then were the Mark 3. And why the Mark 3 and the Allegro 3 look very different from the Mark 1 and the Mark 2, they kept basically all the styling clues of the Van Plus over the whole production span. Now, was it successful? It was not as successful as the Princess 8016, but it was a good seller. So, well, it sold good over the whole production period of the Austin Allegro. Maybe because it was unique in the market. So I can't think of another car which is similar to this. So a small, very, very luxurious car with, well, with Connolly leather and walnut veneer in it. Some traffic right here. Well, driving this car in Germany, especially because basically no one knows what that is. This is a head turner, and at the same time it is a head scratcher. That is the impression this car makes. Even a regular Allegro would be a very, very rare car here. So when I think of all the classic car meetings I've been to, I haven't seen one. I've seen one at the Bremen Classic Motor Show some years ago. There was a late Allegro in a very interesting spec. And you know what? I did ask the owner on that show if he would sell me his car. He didn't. So now I have my hands on this beautiful Van den Pla. I don't know if you can see that here. I think this sort of lights panel is, I think it's from a Jaguar or a Daimler limousine. I don't know. So what are my plans with this car? So basically the major work on this car is done. I'm very close to say that this car is rust free. So the previous owner, he got some new sills. The car's partly painted new, and it's done. It's a good work. So it's pretty well done, everything. The engine works fine. I wasn't sure about the cooling when I had it here on my first drives, but I think it is all fine. I'm saying that now. So I will find a spot to park the car for a minute, because I want to show you how to open the Webasto roof. The Webasto roof was, well, as far as I know, that was a factory option. I'm not so sure if that was fitted in the factory, because I just found a small badge here at the roof. I will show you in a second. Well, it all sounds a little bit different. By the way, the car lived most of its life near Birmingham. I got the car with quite a lot of paperwork. So the car is now almost 50 years old. And from all the 50 years, almost every year is documented. I even have the first owner service book with the first service stamps and everything. I do have a letter from the wife of the first owner. She wrote like a small note to the second or the third owner about the genuity of the mileage. That is all pretty fun. So lots of paperwork. It's all you want when you buy a classic car, a car with history, and this has history, and that's why I love it. So for me, this car is a keeper. And it fits very well to my garage. So I have the MG Midget, which was my first British car. I still have the Mazda. And if I would choose one to sell, it's now pretty hard. By the way, I've sold my Daihatsu Copen. I had for 1 year now a Daihatsu Copen. In order to get some space in the garage, it had to go, because I just wanted this car. Driving position, by the way, is really good. I love the steering wheel. I was playing with the thought, maybe installing some sort of Nardi or anything, but it just have to be this wheel. It's very thin, but this is, this is a perfect classic car feel. Oh, I forgot to switch the lights on. I will do that now, because there you go. And then let's open the roof. So now I found a spot to open the roof, and that is easy. So first you start with the sort of spoiler, then there's this small lever here. You turn it, lift it a little bit up, and then you open the roof. And this is what the car looks like with the roof fully open. I still have the side markers on. Let's switch that off. There you go. And that is the roof. So it's in a brownish color. It has been redone, and unfortunately it's not closing properly. And I think I have to redo it. Anyway, I wanted to show you this badge here. So this is the original Webasto dealer badge, fitted at the Midland Sunroof Center in Birmingham. So that fits perfectly with the whole story of the car. I also forgotten to show you the boot. So as said, it has not a large hatchback. So you open it here and quite a lot of room in there. By the way, this is Harris Mann, the designer of the car with the Allegro, and this is the Quartic magazine, because I'm a proud member of the Austin Allegro Appreciation Society, because I love the Allegro. Let's close the boot lid. So I hope you like my new car. Let me know what you think about the Vandenpla 1500. I completely fell in love with it. Some adventures with this will be in the future, I guess. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Oh, by the way, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. By the way, if you're from Germany, I'm doing a podcast, and there's an episode where I tell you the story of this car. In the podcast, look for the Motor Kultur podcast in Germany. It's on all the usual platforms. So, by the way,